We're going to listen to the professional experience of some people here, 4 people, who have been in the very front lines of fighting for the freedom of Ukraine and accordingly for the freedom, peace and security of Europe. And allow me first, while you get seated, all of you, see if there's anyone else entering before we start, or before I start, to give what I fear will be sort of in fairly short presentation. First we have Khrystyna Boychuk here.
Yeah.
That was roughly,
That's correct.
Roughly right translation, not too bad. Who's been serving in the National Guard of Ukraine since 2013. Kharkiv National Academy of the National Guard, have been doing strategic communications, has been involved in energizing young people to be part of the armed forces, has been active in gender issues. It says that we've been fighting stereotypes within the military environment, and they do exist. I think we know that in all countries around the world, and has also been in sort of frontline duty. I see that you've been deputy commander of a mortar battery, which impresses me anyhow. And now you are working quite a lot with the implementation of technical solutions of different sorts in the National Guard in the Ukraine Armed Forces. And then we have Dmytro Finashyn, more or less pronounced rightly. Professional soldier, hero of Ukraine. Has been active, well, in 2015 in the anti-terrorist operation, as it was called in those days, and has been severe injuries, including losing his left hand. Has been a data analyst for unmanned systems, and has been decorated as a hero of Ukraine by the president, also the Order of the Gold Star. Is also advisor to the Minister of Internal Affairs for veteran policy, focusing on rehabilitation, obviously, that is necessary, medical and psychological support. And then we have Mr. Tataryn, who is the man who's hiding. And he's hiding for one particular reason, and that is because he's a Tatar from Crimea, and has been fighting in Crimea, has been fleeing Crimea, obviously. But I would guess that, it doesn't say in my notes, but I would guess that you still have family and friends and relations on Crimea, and that makes it important to recognize the fact that your identity should not be all over the social and media sphere. You were active in unrest and protest in Crimea after the Russian occupation, but have since then been fighting with the territorial defense brigades along the front lines, and is now operating primarily as a drone operator in the strike drone platoon, which is called in English the Wretched, and that sounds impressive. Daniel Salem, Salem, thanks, who will be helping with the translation as well, is a television presenter, restaurateur, who has demonstrated remarkable dedication to his country through military service. He has enlisted in the territorial defense before advancing to special forces on the front lines, and been, I understand, involved in quite a number of reconnaissance and sabotage operations in different parts of the front line, Kherson, Kharkov, and he does show the sort of how people are coming from different walks of life and are recruited to the armed forces and do remarkable service to their country, and I would say to us all, because the defense of Ukraine is not only, for you it is primarily the defense of Ukraine, it should be. For us, it's also the defense of Europe and defense of the international order. I have one question only for you, but it's fairly fundamental. What are you fighting for? Ladies first.
Okay. Hello, everyone. My name is Khrystyna Boychuk. I'm Major of National Guard of Ukraine. I try to repeat. I'm very nervous. For me, it's very respectful to be with you in their place, but it was very nervous because my brother in arms in Ukraine fight for our independence and our freedom. It's very important to understand that it's not freedom and independence of Ukraine, it's freedom and democracy of all the world. And that's why we are, and I'm especially there. Why we are fight? I was born in independence Ukraine. We have solution for different problems internal in our Ukraine. But when Russia occupied Crimea and tried to occupy east of Ukraine in 2014, all strong person in Ukraine stay at defense. A lot of my friends die in this war. Especially my friends Ira Cheka Tsibuch, who died in Kharkivska Oblast. She was medic, hospitalier. And they fight for all important for every one person in the world. For freedom, for love, for relation. And I fight for this person who died and all my people, all my person, all my friends who with me in this war. Thank you.
Thank you. Dmytro?
Дуже радий бачити вас всіх.
I am extremely glad to see you all here. Thank you for inviting me, for your contribution to our common cause.
Чесно кажучи, для мене
Frankly
трохи є
speaking,
таким звичним і заїждженим питанням.
this question, what you're fighting for, is kind of banal to me.
Це базові
Why
речі.
are we fighting? That's basic. These are the things that are taken for granted. That's the existence of our country, of our nation. That's freedom, that's life, that's democracy. I won't be elaborating any more on that, but I would ask myself a different question. Not what are you fighting for, but why or because of who are we fighting? Who caused us to fight? It's the aggressor who started its aggression since in 2014, and a year later I joined the armed forces. I was 21 then. Did I want to fight? No, I wanted to continue my studies, to develop, to gain a profession, but now I am a professional military officer, and it is my destiny now. I was during this all-out war for 3 months there while saving my wounded brother in arms. I was also injured and we managed to get evacuated. So I had 2 wounds and I stayed for 2 days and nights in the gray zone, so-called. But I managed to survive and I'm here with you, which pleases me immensely. But generally speaking, I will say we did not want this war, and we want it to end as soon as possible. We want the whole world to contribute to bringing pressures to bear to those who caused this war. One aggressor who thought that they are plenipotent, omnipotent, that they can just do it like this and invade another country and start killing hundreds and thousands of people, injuring and wounding even more, doing some unspeakable things. And now we in Ukraine are fighting for the title of the world champions in fighting this unequal war. Yes, they do have problems with the personnel, with equipment, with armaments, but we also feel this shortage. So we have to adjust to these circumstances. We have to be very ingenious. We have to be looking and searching for some cheap materials to make armaments of those. Thus, we changed the entire defense doctrine. And now, sometimes Russians fight on electric scooters. Can you imagine that? And they are also adjusting to the circumstances. It's a tiny target, very quick one, and it is very difficult to kill this target. So imagine, everyone thinks that Russia is a mammoth, that superpower as they try to position themselves. But they use electric scooters to do their storms or meat-grinding storms. And that's what I am reading in the news. That's what I hear in the overheard communications. And their commanders say just kill one who refuses to go and storm Ukrainian positions, and then everyone will have to go after. They would never refuse to fight. So imagine what enemy we have. They are unprecedented. They are very brutal, and we pay an ultimate price for our freedom. We are fighting with very strained resources, but beware. Today it's us who are fighting, but tomorrow this could be you. So learn from our mistakes, learn from our experience. We are not a very wealthy country. We are not at the cutting edge of technologies or industrial development, perhaps. But don't be too proud, right? Look at us and look what the modern warfare is like. Because unless you learn from our experience, you will have to fight with the lives of your countrymen and countrywomen. So let us learn together. We've got a huge potential to join in, learn from our experience, contribute to our victory, and together we will win. Russia should be forced to stop this war. And I would like to ask you about the following. Quite recently, we compared the number of personnel in the armed forces and border guards in different countries. In the Baltic states, for example, what they've got, the contingent that they've got on their border with Russia is minute. Just look at the length of the border with the Russian Federation. I hope it will never turn into the front line. But if Russians do aspire to conquer you, they will be able, because this front line will be very long. We've made this mistake several times, and we are paying a very high price. So get prepared, be prepared for the worst, so that worst never comes. And let us work together.
Thank you. Mr. Tataryn.
По-перше, я хочу вибачити за свій
First of all, I would like to apologize for having to cover my face. I would wish to talk to you with an open face, but I cannot afford doing this. Since 2014, my home has been occupied. I come from the Crimean Peninsula, where Russians conduct repressions, and they are particularly brutal towards the Crimean Tatars, who are the indigenous people there. I have fought for 2 years in infantry. Now I am the operator of the drone. And what I've learned from this war is that you do not fight when it is convenient to you, or when you are disposed to that, or when you have an opportunity. We fight when we have to. I didn't want to fight. I am a totally civilian person. I worked as an actor. I also worked in medicine, and I hope to develop as a professional, as a medical professional. But in 2014, Russians came to my home and they said that I am a collaborator with Ukrainians because I didn't want Crimea to be part of Russia. And many Crimean Tatars had to flee their homes. Those who didn't were convicted for 25 years to stay in Russian jails somewhere in the Far East, which is just common practice in the occupied Crimea and in temporarily occupied territories of mainland Ukraine. And my father told me then that now that you are leaving, you are choosing the side that you are going to defend later, and he proved to be true. And 1 year before the all-out war, it dawned on me that we are about to fight. And when the all-out war started, when Russia invaded, I understood that I couldn't flee anymore because there's nowhere to flee. So I was forced to take up arms and fight against them. And I've been fighting for almost 3 years now. Why? Because I'm the first generation of the Crimean Tatars who were born in Crimea after the deportation of 1944. My parents and my grandparents were oppressed, had to live in other lands. But now I want to live in Crimea. I don't ask anyone to fight for me, to fight instead of me, but I'm asking you to help us to fight so that we can come back to our homes. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Daniel?
Hello, everyone. Thank you so much for giving us a great opportunity to be here. We're all about opportunities right now. It's a really strong word, opportunity. The question why I'm fighting, why I'm doing what I'm doing, started in 2015 when the most beautiful Ukrainian girl was born. It's my daughter. I had a great life, a simple and really peaceful life, being a TV host, doing what I did, counting that I was a military person in Lebanon, 17, 18, and 19 years old. And my 19 years old, closer to 20, I came to Ukraine. And I'm thankful to Ukraine for my daughter. And I think that's the most privileged thing, to have someone such as beautiful as a Ukrainian girl being held by my hands. And such a devastating thing when 24th of February, I had to tell goodbye to her and to pack her bags and just leave her. I think this is the worst thing what a father can do, just to say goodbye to his daughter, to his children, and live without them. We are all here lost someone, said goodbye to someone. And I think this is my duty. It's even more as an obligation to say thank you to my land. I was born in Ukraine. And it's not a question of I want to or I don't want to. This is an obligation. I think every man, every woman, every person who is fighting on the front has this reason, has the reason of thankfulness to his own land, that he was born there and he has to protect it. I saw a writing on the wall. It takes 1 day from Brussels to get to Ukraine, right? It was written downstairs. And I thought, it took us 24 hours to get here, right? This is so close. 24 hours to get here. The bombs that are being tackled on our fields, on our land, is so close to the lands of the Europe. And believe me, I'm so thankful that I can take my daughter and give safely to European countries. I'm so thankful for that. And I'm sure I'm thankful for every child that is being raised in Europe right now. Thank you for giving them education. Thank you for giving them food. Thank you for giving them shelters. It's not about, you know that the chair doesn't stand on 3 legs. The whole world is the chair, and if you take one leg, it will fall. And we all saw that Russia will not stop moving forward. It's not about principles, it's about just being greedy. It's about fairness, it's about balance in the world. We cannot tolerate an aggressor. We cannot tolerate terrorism. We cannot tolerate the word I want. It's simply, when we were kids, they used to teach us it's unfair. It's simply unfair. And right now, maybe, we are grateful that we can be here, really. And after 5 days, all of us, I know we talked, all of us will go back to the front line and will continue to do what we do. We all have fractures, injuries. We are all broken down mentally. This is what's more important. Because our body is just a machine that can work throughout. But imagine how bad and uncomfortable is an environment in our head. I'm not even talking about the emotional things. We smile and we're grateful that we can be here. But don't be confused with the outward appearance and how easily we can speak to you about that. We adapted, and we don't really want that you would have the time to adapt. We don't want that. Because believe me, it's a high price. And Dmytro knows what he was talking about. He's there from 2015. And every price is paid by your friend, Irina, which I knew too. Can you imagine? She wrote a letter before dying. She had the will. She had the power. She knows that her words will be fighting for her after she dies. I just want you to imagine how fearless and how unstoppable Ukrainians can be. Yes, we're a small country in a matters of finance, economy. I'm not a politician. I'm far from politics. But the thing is, they said for 3 days. The only thing they took for 3 days is our strength, our aggressive protectiveness of our land, and already 3 years. And every one of us, and I can speak for myself, I can speak for the people that I know, my colleagues, my brotherhoods, no one will stop until the last breath. And can you honestly ask yourself a question? Would you want to be on our places? It's an honest question. We're plain talkers here, not only. It's not about diplomacy. It's not about just about we're all human beings. This is about saving the humanity. This is about the humanity in general. We're all the same, made from the same tissues, bloods, bones. And the only thing that stops right now an idiot, a heartless and ruthless idiot, from getting forward is this small and brave Ukraine. On a map, for me, we're the biggest nation, and I'm so proud to be Ukrainian. I'm really proud. And I'm proud that my daughter is Ukrainian. And I'm proud that my daughter is studying in Europe. And I know that she will be someone. Again, thanks to you. Thanks to that. So you took the children and allowed them to have this education. And what are we right now fighting for is our mental rights, mental emotions, mental perspective. We want to dream. I'm sure everyone of us have dreams. We want to continue living our simple life. I want more kids. You know, kids are beautiful. They're really the heart of our life. But can I? No. Have I rights of thinking of continuing a family right now? No. It's really easy to dream, but it's hard to have a privilege to dream. I know I already said more than I could. Thank you so much. But just wanted you to know that the enemy is much more closer than you think. Much more closer. And the video that we saw of a European house that you were talking about, it's a beautiful European house that can be easily destroyed. And it's not only about attacking the bombs, the military, it's easily destroyed by the lies of the aggressor that we are eating every day. And we're letting him. The only thing we can do is to fight back. Attack, fight back. We die, the other comes, and they continue to attack. And the only thing you can do, and what we are asking for you to do, is to help, information-wise, medical-wise, weaponry-wise. Whatever it takes for an idiot, bless you, medical-wise. Whatever it takes for the aggressor not to come to your houses. Because Dmytro said the right thing. We don't want for you to pay the same price that we paid. And the letters are written with blood, not ink. Slava Ukraini!
Героям слава!
You said in your intervention, Daniel, that Ukraine is a small country.
No, I meant it can look like, not on the map, we're big,
Right.
we're vast.
But, sorry? Oh, sorry.
Oh, okay. I forgot very important things for me and my brother and sister in arm. Can I take a minute of memory for our all people who died against Russia aggression?
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you. I was going to say that on your small country thing, I was going to sort of say you are wrong.
I was metaphoric
Yes,
about that.
quite. Because I mean, you are a great country, and you have demonstrated that by the great sacrifices and contribution that you four persons are the examples of, but not the symbols of. I mean, go back 3 years in time. Let's have perspective on things. 3 years in time, most of the world said, he's not going to attack Ukraine. There are limits to the stupidity of this guy. That turned out to be wrong. Then when he did, I mean, let's be honest, most of the world said Ukraine is not going to survive. It was going to be 3 days or 3 weeks or perhaps 3 months. That was the overwhelming view of nearly everyone. Now, nearly 3 years down the road, Russia controls less than 20% of the territory of Ukraine. That's bad, unacceptable, and should not be allowed to stand. But it's less than 20% after, and this huge military machine, this huge country, has been trying to get rid of you. And in spite of thousands and thousands of missiles and drones and whatever, Ukraine is still there.
And will be.
And the economy is, I mean, no one, I would say, would have expected, if anyone had been given the number of missiles and the number of bombs and the number of drones, and asked, is the Ukraine economy, is the Ukraine society going to survive this? Everyone would have said, nope, it will not. But it's there. And that is because of the sort of, the basic thing why this has happened is really your answer to my very fundamental question. What are you fighting for? Because you have the morale, the will, the determination to defend your country. And I think what will eventually make you victorious is the fact that if you look across the front line at the people there, insofar as you see them, but you see more of them than anyone here there, I don't think that they know what they are fighting for. They fight because they've been sent there, they've been paid, they've been ordered, but that will never make them as determined, as willing, and as courageous as you are. And that at the end of the day is far more important than the bombs and the tanks and whatever. I'm not going to say that that is unimportant, it's very important. But at the end of the day is the determination, the will of a nation and all of its inhabitants to achieve something that decides. And you are, thank you for what you said, you are extremely good representatives of what makes Ukraine a great nation, and so far have been doing far, 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 far better than anyone expected. More to come, that's for certain. Please.
Дай хвилинку, хай одягнуть.
Дозвольте додати стосовно
If I may
того,
add,
що воюють росіяни, нібито
about what Russians are fighting for. They are paid huge money and they are forced to fight, but we shouldn't underestimate them because many of them come to our country to kill us. They kill civilians, they shoot civilians, and every month we see videos where they behead our prisoners of war. They do that because they are ordered to do so, but also they are willing to do so. So I first reformatted my own thinking, my own mentality when I realized that they have come to kill us. That's what they are after. They want our death, they want our failure. It's not Putin's war, it's the war of the Russian people. So all those atrocities, all of those war crimes are being committed by the Russian soldiers. They do have the will, and this will is to kill us.
I saw little girls who were raped by the Russian soldiers. We were the first unit to fight and get through the assault of Kherson region. We were the first 4 soldiers to get inside the city. I was one of them. And when the people started to come to us, in seconds, when they hugged us, we heard stories in the term of life, but they said it in a couple of seconds. How they were tortured, how were they raped. We came to the houses of a family where an 8-year-old girl, my daughter is 9, and she was raped by a Russian soldier. My friend is right. They have an idea of non-human. I don't know what's taking them there. I don't know what kind of education they had or who taught them this. But they don't have any soul, and you were right. They're quality, or they're quantity, and we are quality. That's the main difference between us. And we saw this. They're making crimes that I think they should all, I don't want to say be alive, or they should sit all in prison. A big betonic prison with their leader.
That should happen. I think we all agree on that. Time is running, and
Another thing that I would like to add, reflecting to what you said about our determination that we are looking beyond the front line. Our enemy is not worse. They are looking far behind our front line. They look deep into our country, and they look even beyond Ukrainian borders. They are looking on to Europe. They are extremely motivated. Those who are not are forced to be motivated. And as I told you just, and as my colleague told you, one will be killed if he refuses to fight, and then others would move on because they are after money, and sometimes they're not even forced. I read some of the tapped or scripts of the tapped telephone conversations. They capture our prisoners of war and they kill them willingly, and they then film that and they post it online. Not because they are ordered to do so, as a colleague of mine said, but because they want to. Yeah, they do have souls, but those are black souls. So we have to be very cautious, very careful. They would not have mercy on anyone. They would not stop. Now that they can be moving on, they are moving on, and they will continue to do so. Sometimes they are moving faster than even they wanted, and they are moving and moving and moving in waves. 2 people, 10 people, in smaller groups, in larger groups. Some of them with broken legs will be storming our positions, having crutches, can you imagine? So they are motivated after all. So be very careful. Remember that. Because sooner or later this war will be over. And I would like to underscore this idea in the context of what Daniel told you. You can come back from home, not always, but when we come back physically, our souls, our minds are still in that fight. And the war changes you beyond repair, beyond returning. We have reached this point of no return mentally. So, and those people, I mean Russians, some of them will go unpunished because there are so many, and some of them might come to your countries later, and they would not doubt to take human lives just because of their whim. just for fun.
Будь ласка, в майбутньому також будьте дуже з ними
So
обережними
again,
і
be very
не відкривайте
careful.
так широко двері,
Do
і не
not
приймайте їх
open
з
your doors
посмішками, тому що
gladly.
просто розумійте і
Do not
пам'ятайте, що вони
welcome
роблять.
them with smiles. Remember what they're capable of.
Напевно, що варто додати, якщо ви
One more thing,
дозволите,
if
те, що
I
ми
may.
бачимо зараз,
What we see now
яка
is
риторика в світовому просторі
the
стосовно підтримки України.
international
І я би
rhetorics
дуже хотіла, щоб
about
ті люди, які зараз нас
supporting
чують, ті
Ukraine.
люди,
So
які нас
I
підтримують
wish
Україну,
that people
також були
who
тим
hear
впливом
us
в світі,
now, who
які
are
розуміють, за що ми
supporting Ukraine,
боремося, які
could
розуміють, чого
speak
ми
up,
захищаємося,
because
і
they
чого
understand why
на нашій
we are
території
fighting
країна-терорист. Тому що
what we are fighting
ця
for.
демонстрація влади,
And
можливо, до
this
деяких країн війна не
demonstration
дійде в
of
тому форматі, в якому
power
вона
by
відбувається
Russian
зараз
might
у
be
нас,
intimidating to some
але
nations.
розуміння
And they
сили,
are far away
яку
from Russia, and
застосовує
they
Путін і
might
Росія
think that
загалом,
it will
це те, що
never
не
affect
дасть
them.
розвиватися
But
вільним країнам,
Putin would
демократичним
not
країнам, країнам світу.
let democratic free
І
countries
зараз,
to
напевно,
develop
в світі йде цей
naturally,
вирішальний момент, коли вони
organically, and
оберуть ту
democratically.
сторону, на якій
So
вони
it
будуть.
is
На
the
стороні добра,
inflection
справедливості,
time to choose
чи
this side,
імперіалістичних
whether
амбіцій
they want to be on the
країн-терористів.
side of fairness and good, or on the side of the imperialistic ambitions of the Russian Federation.
And I have to say that I think that support for Ukraine remains very strong. The problem that is there is that the world is a very increasingly messy place. I mean, you see that around Davos. You would think that with Russian aggression, this would be the dominating issue. Well, the problem is, support is strong for Ukraine, absolutely, no question about that, but there are so many other issues. The world is getting an increasingly complicated place. War in the Middle East, confrontation with China, trade wars, technology changes. So the agenda, the global agenda is crowded. And our task, your task, is to defend your country, which you are doing heroically. And our task is to mobilize the political or whatever support that we know is important to you. It's not decisive, because decisive is what you do, but what we can do is important, and that we are trying to do. With that, we got roughly 4 minutes left. Is there anyone who has any question of profound relevance? Yes.
Sure. Many thanks. In April last year, I had the opportunity to meet one of your colleagues, Hanna Wasik. And Hanna, she served on, well, you know her, yeah?
Yeah.
For all the others, she served on the front lines, and she was retrieving heavily injured personnel from the front line, yeah? And she told us about the 5 seconds warning and alert you receive, when there's incoming bombs or rockets, etc. And I remember this to this day. 5 seconds for me changed. Secondly, I'm really sorry, but we do fail you. I don't agree with you. We're by far we are not doing much, not enough. And we could do a lot more, but we don't. And there are many reasons why we're not doing this. So we take away. This is more serious than before. It was Dare to Dream. In April last year, we are closer to a nightmare than Dare to Dream. We were in April. And I've been working with the chief economist of your president for 2.5 years. And we have to say the situation, also in terms of getting the support, the advice, is becoming more and more critical. And with the latest developments, the uphill fight will only get steeper. I'm really sorry to say, but this is the situation. And I also have no recipe what we can do and how we can do it. You will remain, and Ukraine will remain forever, but the cost is huge already. And we are not sharing enough of that. Thank you.
Thank you. By that,
I can add
yes,
to you,
please, Daniel.
Thank you that you're saying that you're maybe not doing enough, but and thank you again for these words. what you can do, and all other countries can do, is make yourself stronger so that they cannot come to you. While you are going to be stronger, we will feel safer that we have strong partners. The conference called Your Country First. It's not just words, it's a really deep meaning. You said the right word. Don't open up these smiling doors to Russia. Be careful and think about yourself. It's like when we're saving someone, I have to save myself to save the brother. Save yourself. By that you are saving us. Make yourself stronger. Be smarter. Make technologies. Develop. Think. You said the right words. Don't be proud. Ask for our help. We have a knowledge throughout these years, a lot of knowledge, with drones, with combat, with medicine, with mostly everything which concerns the war. Here you are. We are an open platform. Use us. Make yourself stronger and help us with it. Thank you.
And I think those are better concluding words than anyone can say. Thank you very much.
Thank you
for your service, and all of the best for the future. Thank you.